Hey, and welcome back to another creepy TikTok. If you're enjoying these videos, please make sure that you're commenting, and subscribing. Once we reach 100 subscribers, we're going to be having a giveaway, so make sure that you're in it. Alright, enjoy your video.
Stunned by the sudden rollout of Rook Unlimited's most fantastic device ever, the Smart Mark. Throw your other devices away, because the Smart Mark is more than just a phone. It's part of you. Use it as cash. Book your travel. And even shoot video. Distribution points are all over the city. And don't let the lines discourage you. The Rook Unlimited Smart Mark is worth the wait.
I never realized how wonderful technology could make me feel. The Smart Mark has brought order to my life.
And the best part? It's absolutely free. A gift of thanks to our city from Rook Unlimited.
You call yourself a man of science. World order is our destiny. Submit to a Smart Mark and join the glorious victory order over chaos.
A lot of people wonder why haven't we cloned humans yet, but the truth is we actually found out how to clone them about 7 years ago. And a lot of people believe that some celebrities were actually killed and then cloned, like Kanye and Britney. In 1996, a sheep named Dolly was successfully cloned. It took many tries, but it worked, and in 1996, technology wasn't as advanced as it is now. In 2002, there was a company called Clonaid. They claimed they cloned a human baby called Eve, however, there was no evidence of this, and they said they didn't release any to protect the family. Now, when this happened, governments around the world banned human cloning. Also, Clonaid was formed by a Raelian cult. Then they were shut down by the FDA and they moved to the Bahamas to continue. In 2004, they claimed that they had successfully cloned about 14 people. To this day, their company is still up and running. 2007, another group managed to clone human embryos by adding caffeine. 2018, monkeys were cloned, making it the first primates. And after that, cloning was only really talked about in animals. Based on this info, do you think clones exist?
Daisy, give me your answer, do. I'm half crazy. All for
Children living in the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area tell tales of Charlie No-Face, sometimes known also as the Green Man. The story says that long ago, Charlie was a utilities worker that became disfigured in a horrible accident. Some versions of the legend say it was an explosion of acid, some say it was an electric power line, and some say it was a sudden burst of fire. In many of these versions, the accident had mysteriously turned his skin a ghastly green, which is why they called him the Green Man. But, in every single variation of the tale, Charlie's face had been melted off. The stories state that when he grew older, he hid in an abandoned house and would wander around in dark and foreboding places like the old railway access tunnel in the South Park Township, often referred to as the Green Man Tunnel. For years, local teens would drive into the tunnel, awaiting sightings of Charlie No-Face. Many say they have felt an electrical charge from his presence and had problems getting their car to start back up after calling out to him. Others have claimed to see his glowing green form, like a slowly approaching ghost in the tunnel or along rural roads at night. That his spirit chases broken down motorists or those who dare park on the side of the road. As it turns out, there is a tragic truth behind this creepy urban legend. Charlie No-Face was actually a man named Raymond Robinson. Back in 1919, when he was only 9 years old, Robinson and his friends were playing around Murado Bridge, outside of Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania. The bridge carried a trolley and had active electrical lines, which had killed another boy less than a year earlier. Robinson climbed a pole and was reaching for a bird's nest when he touched an electrical line, causing him to be electrocuted. His nose was burned off, one of his arms and both of his eyes were scorched, and one of his hands was blown clean off, but somehow, he survived. For most of his remaining childhood, Robinson was isolated and ostracized, even by his own family. He made the best of it, spending his days in a small apartment in his family's garage, making doormats, wallets, and belts to sell. The accident disfigured him so badly that he did not go out in public very often for fear of creating a panic, so he went for long walks at night on a quiet stretch of State Route 351, feeling his way along with a walking stick. Although he walked alone and his disfigurement would easily alarm people, Robinson was reported to have been friendly and was willing to socialize a bit when stopped by friendly passersby. He was easy to make friends with, if you offered him a beer or some cigarettes. Through several generations, Robinson's story has been passed on so many times that his name and his real history have been overshadowed by the ghost story that grew out of him.
That time TLC exposed the music industry?
You said your career is not exactly what you would have wanted it to be, but this proves it. What's not on?
I'll tell it. We're not going to sugarcoat anything anymore. We've been quiet long enough. Can I get an amen?
Amen!
All right. Well, I'll put it to you this way. We are the biggest selling female group ever. 10 million albums worldwide. We have worked very hard. We have been in this business for 5 years. And we are broke as broke can be. And we're not like trying to be a sad story. If that was the case, we would have been on everybody's talk show talking about how broke we are. We haven't done that. I know it's hard to believe because we've sold so many albums, but it is possible. That's the deal here. So, and we're not happy at all. But for real, tonight, this is all we wanted. We wanted to win a Grammy, at least one, and we won 2, and that proves that we are the jam.
Shirley, can you wait? Because I heard Bo Diddley on a TV show yesterday because the Legends of Rock thing is going on tomorrow, and he talked about how in the 50s that happened a lot. It's shocking that that's happening in the 90s.
It is shocking. It's still happening. I mean, we're examples right now. I mean,
I've got 2 questions for you. 10 million albums, how can you be broke? And 2, what's coming up with Left Eye Productions?
Okay. How do I do what? Make it run? Well, first of all, 10 million albums, and how can we be broke? It's kind of... I can't go into everything right now, but trust me, you can sell 10 million albums and be broke if you have greedy people behind you.
Turn it around so you don't sell 10 million albums and not be broke.
Stick together, learn from our mistakes, and, just, well, contracts and stuff is kind of hard to handle business when you're stuck in contracts that say certain things.
and to me what also helps is when you tell it, when you're sitting around and you're like being hush-hush about it, nobody knows. Everybody's looking at the videos, they're looking at the success of the album, so they're thinking that you're on top of the world, and when you're quiet like that, no one knows. So that's why we're telling it. We're not telling it to get anybody in trouble or to make anybody mad at us. We're just being very honest and truthful and telling y'all the truth. So, and that's just how it is. And hopefully, it can stop, because it is not 1950 anymore. It is 1996.
Five facts from history that will mess with your perception of time. Number 1. Sharks are older than trees. Sharks are some of the longest-lived creatures on Earth. They've survived through all 5 global mass extinctions. Sharks have been around in various forms for over 420 million years. Trees, on the other hand, have only been around on Earth for 370 million years. Number 2. The guillotine was used all the way up to the 1970s. The guillotine remained France's official state method of capital punishment all the way up until the late 20th century. The last person executed by the guillotine occurred in 1977, the same year Star Wars came out. Number 3. The Eiffel Tower was opened to the public the same year as Nintendo was founded. Construction of the Eiffel Tower took place from 1887 to 1889. In March of 1889, the monument was officially opened to the public. That same year, Masahiro Yamauchi founded the Nintendo Playing Card Company in Kyoto, Japan. Number 4. Cleopatra ruled Egypt closer in time to the invention of the iPhone than to the construction of the Great Pyramids of Giza. Cleopatra's reign over the Ptolemaic kingdom in Egypt began in 51 BC, about 2,500 years after the Great Pyramids were built. Apple introduced the iPhone in 2007, about 450 years closer in time. Number 5. Woolly mammoths still walked the earth at the time the Great Pyramids were built. It's believed that Egypt's 3 main pyramids of Giza were constructed sometime between 2,550 and 2,490 BCE. Although the majority of woolly mammoths died out around 10,000 years ago, bones have been found in Siberia that are around 3,700 years old, meaning some mammoths were still kicking in the 1600s BCE, a full 9 centuries after the Egyptians first began building the pyramids.